Hello everyone and welcome to our show. Today we discuss about marketing for startup, how you can get results. Good people, welcome to our show. By the way, I don't want to discriminate bad people. Welcome to our show as well. Anybody who wanna listen more and learn how to market their startups, welcome. And today I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Jen Cameron. How are you?
I'm great, Anatoly. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, sunny day, always positive mindset. So I set up directly to my mind, whatever happens, just it's better to go ahead. Before we start, just tell more about your self experience, background, and why you decided to share with us about marketing startup.
Sure, yes. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm just so pleased to be able to talk with your audience. So, about myself, I am an accountant, I'm a CFA, and I helped found a company that had a $400 million exit. I'm also the CEO of a new startup called Inverse, which is short
Mhm.
for investment research software. Um, if Reddit and Yahoo Finance had a baby, that would be us. So, what I was hoping to speak with your audience today was my experience in marketing a startup.
Nice, nice. Okay, can you tell where to start? And it's better if you share about your journey, how you achieve such results.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're a technology company, and when we started, obviously there was nothing to market because there's no product yet. We're still building it. So we decided to create a wait list. So we at least had something that we could market. We could, and because we had the wait list, we could try different things. That is a big key that we found and still find. And I think probably most marketers would agree that experimentation is very, very important. So we created a web page with a link. We used viral loops. I'm not sure if any of
Mhm.
your audience. Oh, you're okay. Great. So you're familiar with it. They let you do different waitlist activities. At least that's how we use them.
Mhm.
So we got our website together. We experimented with different language. One of the first ones that we had is uh, Wall Street bets on steroids, which because we were trying to. Our first, our first uh, our first strategy was to kind of work with humor and sort of capitalize on memes and that sort of thing. So tinkered with that a little bit,
Mhm.
um, but we didn't stick with that. It just didn't feel quite comfortable for us. I mean, we are building a tool to help improve people's financial outcomes, not to you know make light of financial markets. We're trying to educate people, trying to improve their experience investing. So we thought that a more serious tact fit better. So
Mhm.
changed the language that we had on our platform. Um, one of the sort of so and then I guess the next thing that we worked on was um, honing in on a key differentiator that we had. So before we started marketing and when we were still working on the product itself and sort of the planning of the product, um, one thing that we wanted to do. So what we observed in the market is that people really want to collaborate when it comes to investing. They love to talk about their investments and what to buy, what to sell, that type of thing. So we felt that having that component of collaboration was very important to our platform. We wanted to have really great tools, but we wanted to be able to collaborate as well. So anyway, the point of that is that um, well, I'm actually quite not at the point yet. We
Mhm.
um, we wanted to do more than just have conversation. So we want to have
Mhm.
collaboration where it's really about like sharing things. Like I could do up, I could create a new tool or a graph, and I could share that with people. They could grab it, and then they could take it to the next level. So it was really about creating tools and creating new ideas and working together, that type of thing. So now I'm getting to the point. So we felt that this was a real strong standout feature,
Mhm.
the ability to collaborate. So that was the next sort of phase that we had with our landing page, was like honing in on being collaborative. Then we kind of from there we kind of moved to like all in one. It's a place where you can do everything. So yeah, so bit of experimentation around our language. We ran with that waitlist until we launched. So we probably had that for, well, we launched in January of this year, and we probably had the waitlist up midsummer. And once we had the waitlist up, then we could start, experimenting with Google Ads. We could start reaching out to influencers, because now we've at least got something to point them to, even though we still felt that having a conversation was important. Yeah, so I think I feel like I've just talked your ear off about that.
Love it, love it. And in marketing, we know that marketing can't help bad products. So I think you have good product. Can you tell more about developing and innovating your startup? How do you learn customers, and how do you know that you need to provide something unique? And tell more about your unique selling proposition. What kind of benefits you have compared to your to competitors?
Yes, good. Thank you. So the unique benefits that we have compared to a lot of our competitors, well, we offer a ton of free data and tools. So right out of the gate, there's a free component. And actually, our intention was to kind of keep it all free and then find these new ways of monetizing. So one of the value propositions that we have. So we've got, maybe I better just step back a little bit. So excuse me,
Okay.
let me just start again. Our business model is to bring together three groups. We've got our users, DIY investors. We've got creators, financial creators, people who are creating financial content. And then we also have IR departments. That piece is a little bit further on. But so we've got those three. We want to bring those three groups together into a symbiotic relationship where they're all getting value from one another. And our revenue model is to, provide services that helps those three groups meet their objectives. So when we think about what we're delivering, I have to think about like each one of those groups. So for users, there's a ton of powerful and powerful tools and rich data. Everything is free right now. What we're doing is building on little ad hoc pieces. So because we believe that everyone's investing process is different, we want to provide a fantastic base level of tools and then let people add in the pieces that they need for their investing journey. Like some people are traders. Some people like to build models. Some people, like to read a good, compelling story. And, if they trust what they've read and they feel that that's solid, that's how they'll make an investment. So there's all different kinds of strategies that people will follow. So we want to be able to let people kind of put together, take the bits of the blocks and build out the investment terminal that they want. So free, great tools and data, access to creators. So then we start to get into the other piece of what we're doing. So for financial creators, they will do research over here. They will market over here. They'll monetize over there. They'll market themselves here. So they've got this very chopped up process. So on Inverse, they can bring all of that under one roof. They can do all of their research. They can create their content because there's a mechanism for creating notes and then grabbing all the data and putting it into their note. They can find an audience because we've got close to 5,000 users on the platform right now.
Nice.
They can build a following of people who love their content, and then they can monetize. So that is one of our revenue streams, is that we take a small piece of what the creator earns. And then the IR departments, we believe that that there's 10,000 public companies in Canada and the United States, and their investor relations strategies primarily focus around institutional investors, and we believe that there's a wonderful opportunity with retail investors. So an IR department can have a group, an official XYZ group on our platform, and they can verify who owns their stock, so they can be invited to the group, or people who are interested can also come. They can deliver perks. Depending on what kind of company it is, they could offer coupons or free trials, that type of thing. So they can build loyalty with retail investors, and they can provide access to earnings calls, messages from the CEO, just an opportunity to connect, build loyalty. We think this would be
Nice.
great. Thank you. So
Nice. Let's talk about management. You mentioned that you have three different departments. How to unite them in one cohesive goal? Because, for example, from my experience, it's not simple. People have different mindsets, and they are working hard in one direction, but you need to unite them in cohesive goals. Can you tell more about that?
yes, certainly. So the CTO, he and I have worked together before. We worked in a startup back in the 90s. That's where we met. We were both involved in that company that had that was purchased for $400 million. We're married, actually, and we've been working on different business ideas for years and years and years. And Inverse actually has had a backstory, but before the current iteration that we're in. We expanded the team and brought on three recent graduates from McMaster University, which is a school up here in Ontario, Canada, who are brilliant and have very, very strong background in finance and investing. So the four of us, excluding the CTO, have a shared common ground with investing, and share the same values of belief in prosperity and wanting to improve financial outcomes. So we share that. The team has been growing as well. So we have, in addition to the 5 people, myself included, we also have 3 other people in development and 2 other people in business development. So the people in the on the development side of things, I think what unites them is a passion for technology. And Dege, he's the CTO, just has so much experience and is such a good leader that he's kind of able to, nurture them and bring out the best and expand their horizons. For example, our first hire was a front end person, but now he's learning some of the back end stuff, which is cool. And then the people that we've hired on the business development side, again, are passionate about investing. So that unites us. So I guess it's common ground is the key thing. I think as a leader, I think it's important to, give people opportunities, make sure that they are feeling supported. I sort of, I feel like my job is to kind of try and raise them up as much as possible. I'm a firm believer in hire people smarter than you.
Love it. Love it. Okay, I'm interested about this niche investing, because Google has special treatments for investing and health websites because it can impact people. I don't know, like pocket their attitudes, many other stuff, because this niche has a lot of fraud, scam, and of course, can you tell how to build this trust feeling? Because, for example, if I want to invest money, I need to think twice to invest my money or not, because I'm not good with that. But I think anyone wanna know more about the company before investing or even taking any services. Can you tell more about building trust?
Yes, absolutely. What a great question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, building trust, especially in investing, is just so key. And I feel like things have gotten kind of crazy in the investment world, where it's all
Mm-hmm.
about I don't know. I mean, whoever can kind of scream the loudest, or whoever can kind of uh, position themselves, or you know, it's kind of lacking the depth right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe that success in investing comes from having a consistent strategy and then doing due diligence. It doesn't come from a TikTok video that you dance and have an image of a stock from it. That's got nothing to do with good investing, right? And so one of the issues that we're also seeing is a lot of people are getting investing advice from social media.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like, let's be frank here, social media thrives on people getting emotional, right? It wants opinions to get polarized, because then people engage, then they're commenting and yelling back and forth, or they want you to feel, it wants you to feel, not that it wants you to feel, but it's designed so you feel anxious, and you want to salve that anxiety, um, fear of missing out. Like, all of these states of heightened emotionality are not
Mm-hmm.
good for making decisions. In fact, it's like
Mm-hmm.
the exact opposite. So, yeah. So, because we do have this ability to connect and to collaborate, I mean, it's social, right? We do have this
Mm-hmm.
social media feed, and people can put in ideas. Um, but, we also have like all this data and all these tools, and it's so easy to use. It's designed so intuitively, so it's very, very easy to
Mm-hmm.
just to sanity check it. um like, somebody came on to the platform and was trying to pump a penny stock, and like,
Mm-hmm.
this stock has been just like doing so well, the price has just been going up, we've been making so much money. And it's like, okay, you click, because we put the dollar sign notation, you click into it, takes you right to the chart, and you can see this has been falling for the last year. It's like now at 3 cents. I don't know how you're seeing that you're making all this money, because you're not. I mean, that's
Uh-huh.
so that's how easy it is just to verify something very, very quickly. But if you want to go a little
Mm-hmm.
bit deeper, if you want to see what the financials look like, I mean, again, it's a
Mm-hmm.
couple of clicks, and you can see how much cash they have. Are they profitable? How do they compare to their peers? What are analysts saying? So all of this, are insiders buying or selling? So what's their dividend like? All of these things, you know,
Transparency. Yeah, I
yeah,
got it.
click a button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. You mentioned that you used or use, I don't know about now, Google Ads, influence marketing,
Yeah.
sharing coupons. Can you tell which channel works much better for you?
Well, okay. Thank you again. Excellent question. It changes. Um, we've had great experiences with certain channels for a while, and then they become less good, and then we'll switch. So one channel that was so good for us for quite a while as we grew was influencer advertising.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and it makes sense. Like, no one wants to hear you say you're great. People, you'll have a lot more credibility if somebody else says you're great.
Yeah.
So influence advertising is fantastic. However, it got really expensive, very, very expensive, and the economics just wasn't there for us. We're a
Mm-hmm.
free platform. Like, we can't pay $80 to sign up. We're not a bank.
Mm-hmm.
So it just got a little too pricey. So we stepped back from the influencer advertising. I 100% believe. I mean, we still are doing
Mm-hmm.
it, just to the degree that we were before. And
Mm-hmm.
we went to Google Ads, and the Google Ads were doing fantastic for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the market blow up a couple of months ago, and um, people just didn't want to talk about investing anymore, and people weren't doing Google searches, but other companies were still bidding on the ads. So the price went way, way up, and it became just it wasn't working anymore. It's starting to work again, so that's great. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
I I this is another wonderful channel, and again, thank you for this opportunity to speak with your audience.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, valuable. Okay, let's talk about the topic investing. For example, right now we have a lot of conversation about recession, possible recession. We don't know. Uh, can you tell it's a good idea to invest money today? Because we don't know what future will bring, and your advice where to pay more attention today.
Certainly, well, the market hates uncertainty, and we have been facing a
Hmm.
lot of uncertainty. This 2022 has been a very rough year with the
Hmm.
horrible war in the Ukraine, and um, inflation and COVID. I mean, just a lot of headwinds. That being said, there's always stuff going on. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
it just kind of never ends. It's just something new happens, the market freaks out, it attenuates to it, rolls along a little bit, and then something new happens, and that's kind of the way it goes. Um, I believe that to invest right now, people should make sure that their financial situation is stable, that they're
Hmm.
not going to suddenly lose their jobs, that they have the ability to sort of withstand market shocks and not
Hmm.
react. I think that's a very, very important component of investing. You do your research, you have your strategy. Don't get blown off course, right? Don't let
Hmm.
a market fluctuation make you panic. At least that's my style. Other people are different,
Hmm.
but I think that when you make decisions based out of fear,
Hmm.
it's not the best thing. So investing right now, it could be wonderful, right? Markets are down, could be the time to invest. I mean, a
Hmm.
lot of very smart minds have said, you invest when there's blood in the streets. Um, so,
Yeah. Yeah, I check out in your LinkedIn profile in the section about help investment bloggers find, analyze, and communicate investment ideas. Can you
mhm,
share these ideas? For example, if someone doesn't know where to invest money, because we have many different directions, SP 500, crypto, forex, binary options, many different things. Can you
mhm.
tell how to find your way
How to find your way and
of investment?
what investments suit you?
Yeah.
Great question. That's
Mhm.
a big question. However, um, a lot of factors go into that. So things that you might want to ask yourself are, what is my risk tolerance?
Mhm.
And risk tolerance, that would depend on sort of what your timeline is when you need that money. So a great many people invest for their retirement, or they invest for their kids' education. Some people invest for fun, and that's fine, no problem. But a lot of people have objectives. Some people have the objectives of income, right? They have a, maybe they're retired and they need to have a steady flow of money in. So that's their constraint. So it's important to understand your constraints and limitations, what your timeline is. Um, so the longer your timeline is, the more risk you should be taking. So
Mhm.
um, somebody who's a few years out from retirement, 5 years out from retirement, or their kids are almost ready to go off to university, their portfolio should be very conservative. Um, we don't want to lose a lot of principal right before you need it. However, if you are a young person, then you can tolerate more risk because you have years and years and years to
Yeah.
weather the storm. And also, the longer the period that you have to invest, that you can stay investing, like we've all seen those wonderful graphs where, this little tiny investment here grows up to here given enough time, right? So I guess that's where I would start, is understanding where you're at.
You mentioned about landing pages, that you have some in your you use some landing pages in your advertisement. Can you share ideas how to increase conversion rate for these landing pages? What kind of information to provide for customers? What they are looking for.
Yes. So we study this quite a lot. We have all of this, all of the tracking inside of our landing pages, and we kind of are always sort of tweaking that and improving it. What we've been doing, or what we're working on right now, it's not implemented, is social logins. So yeah, I mean, the faster, easier it is to log in, the better. Yeah, so that's the piece that we're working on right now to improve. Other things that we've done, we used to have a longer login process, partially because when you come onto our platform, we want you to have the best experience possible. Sorry, we want you to be able to. Yeah, I'm getting over COVID. I've got a bit of a cough. It's need to go there anyway, but I'm okay. We want people to have the best experience on the platform, so we want to know a little bit about what interests them. So it was a fairly long process, but we were losing people, so we had to start cutting it down, making it tighter. So
yeah, I got it. Jen, I have the question about customers. Can you tell what customers shouldn't do today but they still do from your experience?
What customers should not?
Sorry, yes, should not do.
What they shouldn't do. And as far as marketing a startup goes?
Yeah, we can touch this one.
Oh, well, I think that if you're marketing a startup, don't throw a ton of money into one channel. Experiment. Though that if you're a startup, money's tight. You have to guard your pennies and make sure you're getting the best value out of your money. So whoever you work with, if there's lots of people who are going to want your advertising dollars, make sure that they prove themselves out before you give it to them. So that would be my key piece of advice.
Okay, what they should do according to your experience? What I don't know, like one tip, it's a must-have for anyone.
For marketing a startup, the one tip that they must have. One tip that they must have. That's a tough
Sorry
one.
for this question.
No, it's okay. Well, I'll speak as the CEO. I think the one thing that you must have is somebody besides yourself who can really sink their teeth into the marketing piece, who is passionate about marketing.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have to be the CMO necessarily. It's wonderful if you can afford somebody like that. But somebody who, if you can't afford somebody like that, at least somebody who's really passionate about marketing, who's willing to learn, who's willing to experiment, who's willing to be a beginner, and who can do it quickly, hopefully.
Yeah,
it's important.
For my experience, without passion, it's better not to do. Because passion is fuel. Without passion, it's hard to achieve any results. And I remember when I had a few projects and I chased money. I didn't achieve anything with that, just wasted a lot of resources, my time, and I got it. No way. It's better, if you are passionate about something, you are willing to wait. You have this patience to go ahead, to overcome obstacles. But if you are not passionate and your goal is to chase money, it's the process to burn out, to give up in one day, because, it's like playing tennis, soccer, any hobby, for example, I'm not waiting when people pay money for playing soccer, because it's my passion, just like hobby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have the
Absolutely.
question. Let's imagine you started from scratch without
Mhm.
any experience, knowledge, skills. What will you do today to market startup?
I'd start with doing some research and move
Mm-hmm.
away without knowing anything at all. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
start with some research. That's what we did. We um, our guys, they did a ton of research. They figured out what was most likely to be successful for us, and then so just to give you some context. So um,
Mm-hmm.
the three guys that joined the team from Mac. Um, they did a ton of background research on advertising strategies. And what they
Mm-hmm.
came up with was influencer. We should be doing influencer marketing. And they
Mm-hmm.
also came up with a list of people who would be a good fit for us. And then it was just,
Mm-hmm.
knocking on the door and talking to them. And yeah, they were right. Influencer marketing was super and is super. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so start with research.
Can you share practical tips how to research data? Because we have many different approaches by using tools, online studies, talk to customers. Your approach, how to research before creating something?
I think having trustworthy, because of in the age of the internet, anybody can throw
Mm-hmm.
up something and make themselves look like a pro. I think having confidence in the information source that you're relying
Mm-hmm.
on is important. Um, if you can get some testimonial, like if somebody's saying something, if you can get testimonial, or even better, cross reference what they're saying um, in a unrelated um, place, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
if you hear from one person that this is the way that to do it, and then if you can verify that in other places, then that is I think that is important.
Yeah, love it. John, you mentioned that you like to hire people who is smarter than you. I listen many times something like this from Warren Buffett, many other great entrepreneurs, and I completely agree with that. But it's not simple. Can you
Mm.
tell how to find those people who can be smarter than you?
Ah, well, I can talk about the three guys who joined the company
Mm-hmm.
back in December 2020. So this is a bit of a story, kind of to put it into context. But so
Mm-hmm.
Inverse used to be something different. It used to be a B2B story, and I wanted to expand the team. I wanted to bring on someone who was good at business development. So I went out into my network. I created a one pager, talked about what we were doing, what the opportunity was, what we were going to exchange for it, sent it out into my network. I got a few people came back to me. One of the ones was somebody that I knew at a bank, but it wasn't him. He actually put it in front of somebody else. And then he took it to a couple of his associates, his friends. And that's how I met Eli, Stephen, and Buddy, who
Mm-hmm.
joined the team. Um, they put a ton of work into a
Mm-hmm.
presentation that I didn't ask for and wasn't expecting. They
Mm-hmm.
put a ton of thought and creativity into something. So I mean that really knocked my socks off. It was it was going above and beyond. It was like what's that word? There's a kind of a term in marketing. It's like oh fudge, I can't think of it, but it's like when you really pleasantly surprise somebody. Anyway, that's what
Mm-hmm.
they did, um, and they just they just were so direct and honest and smart. It just shone through. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think I got a little bit lucky there with them.
Nice, nice. Yeah, luck is the part of the process. Okay, I have the question about AI. artificial intelligence. Can you tell,
Yeah.
do you use AI to develop and innovate your tools, or you have the goal to innovate your tools with AI? Because today AI is, I think it's not the future, it's the present, and many
Mm.
companies jump on this field. What do you think about AI?
Um, yeah, it's a yeah, it's a big part of the world right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think machine learning is more our sort of next direction at this stage, which
Mm-hmm.
is, um, at least in my view of the world, it's a bit of a step down. It's machine learning is more about, you know, training the computer to recognize patterns and then to come back with some information. So, and actually a step even before that we're utilizing, and um, this is actually a term that I use. I haven't heard it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I call it systems learning, and it's combining the intelligence that a computer, well, not the intelligence, but the information that a computer um, can expose, and then combining it with human intervention. So we're building a tool right now. It's a cash flow forecaster.
Mm-hmm.
When
Nice.
somebody hooks up their portfolio to our system, we've got all their stock holdings, and dividend investing and investing for income is an important strategy for a number of people. So they may want to know, what, sorry, a machine's buzzing there for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they want to know what kind of dividends, what kind of income they're going to be getting each month. And they also want to know, like, how much is safe, how much is risky, these kinds of things like this.
Yeah.
So we've, we're using a Amazon tool to help us
Mm-hmm.
analyze a ton of back data, and we take this sort of algorithm and we apply it. We start working with it, but then we layer on like human sanity checks, and we'll look at things and sort of see how much better we are improving from a baseline. So it's the goal is, there's a baseline estimate that the computer comes up with, which is very, like, it's like a naive algorithm. It just kind of takes what happened before and projects it forward. And then there's what actually happens in reality. So there'll most likely be a gap between this. We want to close that gap with this systems learning, improve the algorithm by um, taking what a human observes. I hope I hope that's clear.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's
that's
clear,
that's the
100%. Okay, we have the question from Smith Jane. How to increase sales and customer base in a new startup?
mhm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. A lot of startups, they want
Mhm,
to. This is us, so I guess I'm talking about our experience. Our focus for the first. So we're not into our first year. We're not finished our first year. We're about 8 months into our first year at this stage. Our focus has been on growing customers, and that's where all of
mhm,
our um, focus has been on. So we've got our influencer advertising, we've got our Google ads or social media ads. We've got affiliate marketing. That's another piece that I haven't talked about.
mhm,
Um, um, we've got PR outreach,
mhm,
and we jig between those. We look for the most efficient or efficient ones, and when we find it, we throw money into it. When it stops behaving as well, we pull money out and find something else that will work better. So that's what we do. Increasing sales. So, um, wonderful question. Thank you very much, Smith, for asking this. With the change in the marketplace right now, things have changed for startups. So, as an organization, we have to pivot as well. Um, just focusing on growing customers doesn't cut it in this um, landscape. We have to get to revenue. So we've accelerated getting to revenue, and how we're going to drive sales is from our customer base and demonstrating value. I think that's the key.
Yeah,
We're
a hundred
pre-revenue right now,
percent.
but yeah,
A
it's
100%.
yeah, it's all about value.
Okay, Jen. I have the final question. Can you forecast the future? What kind of future will be in investing field, and how traders or investor or just common people
Yeah.
can forecast the future before investing hard-earned money?
Oh, what a fantastic question. I think in the future we're going to see average people, average DIY investors, be able
Mhm.
to take advantage of machine learning or AI. We know that there are some people who are like more professional traders who can make use of that. But I think things are going to simplify down enough so that there's an interface that an everyday user can, you know, create the pattern recognition or do the research that they want. So I think it'll be more around the research piece. So let's say, for example, let's pretend, because we don't have this yet, let's pretend that Inverse has an AI interface or a machine learning interface where I can tell the computer what I'm looking for. So it would probably be something like a screen. I might be able to ask it what companies are being talked about right now on Twitter, or what companies have great value or great growth prospects. So right now, all these things, like back in the day, you'd have to, get a pen and paper out and do it yourself. And we got computers, and people were able to do it with spreadsheets. They'd have to grab, financial statements probably in hard copy. They'd have to start translating into that. Now we've got a tool like Inverse, which, you can go click, 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 but you're still doing the click, click, click to get what you want. In the future, I think it'll be, just language based. I want to find a company, and these are the characteristics I'm looking for.
Nice, John. It's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
Well, thank you again, Anatoly. It's such a pleasure to be here. If you are interested in learning more about our company, our URL is www.invrs.com,
Mhm.
inverse.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, you probably have links and socials, so I'd probably be
Yeah.
there.
Okay, guys. You can find this link to this URL in the description below. You can find social media, LinkedIn account, Jen, in the description. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. A big pleasure to learn from you. Welcome back anytime, to share more valuable insights. And guys, before investing, think twice and use smart tools if you want to achieve high results. Okay, guys, love you. See you.
Thank you.